Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. A full-grown male lion, his mane the color of old fire, is lying on his back in the tall grass. His four paws are sticking up in the air like a dead cockroach. His tongue is hanging out. He is snoring so loudly that a nearby herd of zebras can hear him, and they do not even bother to run. This is the king of beasts. This is the animal we have worshipped for 10,000 years, and right now, he looks absolutely ridiculous. But here is the secret that no nature documentary ever shows you in the first 5 minutes. That silly, snoring, upside-down lion has just eaten 40 pounds of wildebeest. His belly is so full that he cannot roll over. He will stay in that exact position for the next 18 hours. He will not hunt, he will not patrol, he will not roar. He will simply digest, dream, and drool. And while he sleeps, the real rulers of the savannah, his sisters, his cousins, the lionesses, are doing something extraordinary. They are planning, they are watching, they are waiting for the moon to rise so they can run down a zebra at 70 kilometers per hour in complete darkness. The lion is not a king. He is a beautiful, lazy, glorified bouncer. And today, we are going to tell you the real story of his life. Not the myth, not the mascot, the actual, sweaty, bloody, hilarious, and heartbreaking biography of Panthera Leo. Born in a thorn bush, raised by a village of exhausted mothers, dead before his 10th birthday if he is lucky, and yet, when you see one walk across the road in front of your safari jeep, you will forget how to breathe. That is the magic of the lion. Let us unpack it. Our protagonist is a male lion. Let us call him Kito, which in Swahili means jewel. He was born in a hidden thicket of wait-a-bit thorn bushes in the Nduti region of the Serengeti, Tanzania. The date was late February, during the calving season when 500,000 wildebeest babies drop onto the plains in a single bloody month. His mother, a lioness named Nuru by researchers, had stolen away from the pride 2 days before giving birth. She found a thicket so dense that even she had to crawl on her belly to enter. There, in a space no larger than a bathtub, she gave birth to 5 cubs. Kito was the third. He weighed less than a bag of sugar. He was blind, deaf, and covered in dark spots that looked like leopard markings, spots that would fade as he grew, disappearing entirely by the time he was 3 years old. His eyes opened at 6 days. His first milk teeth came in at 3 weeks. He took his first wobbly step at 4 weeks, fell over immediately, and peed on himself. His mother did not laugh. She simply cleaned him with her rough tongue, a tongue covered with tiny backward-facing spines called papillae, designed to scrape meat off bones. For the first 6 weeks of his life, Kito never saw another lion. His mother moved him 3 times, carrying him by the scruff of his neck like a house cat carrying a kitten, each time to a new thicket. She did this to confuse predators, hyenas, leopards, pythons, even other male lions, who would kill him without hesitation. At 8 weeks, his mother decided it was time. She carried him back to the pride, 1 cub at a time, walking 2 miles with Kito dangling from her jaws. His siblings dangled beside him. When they arrived, the other lionesses sniffed him. One lioness, the pride's matriarch named Siri, growled softly, not in anger, but in warning. The pride already had 7 cubs of various ages. Food was scarce. The rains had been poor. Kito's mother looked Siri in the eye and did not back down. That is the first lesson of a lion's life. Your mother will fight the entire world for you, even if the world is her own sister. Kito's birthplace was not a palace, it was a war zone, and he was born into an army of exhausted, hungry, fiercely loyal female soldiers.
What defines a lion? Let us start with the body, because the lion's body is a comedy of contradictions. A male lion, like Kito, when fully grown, will weigh between 150 and 250 kilograms. That is the weight of a refrigerator, but with teeth. His heart is enormous, pumping blood through arteries that could fit a child's thumb. His lungs can pull in 50 liters of air in a single breath. His claws are retractable, like a house cat's. But here is the funny part. After years of walking on savannah grit and sharp rocks, his claws are usually broken, blunt, and caked with dirt. He cannot actually use them to climb trees. Lionesses can climb. Male lions rarely do because falling off a tree with a refrigerator body is not a good look. His mane, that glorious golden halo that makes him look like a Shakespearean king, is actually a heat trap. It makes him hotter, thirstier, and more visible to prey. Male lions with darker manes are more attractive to females, but they also get hotter faster and die younger. Evolution, ladies and gentlemen, is not always smart. It's just stubborn. Now, what about the lioness? She has no mane. Her body is leaner, faster, and more efficient. She can sprint at 70 kilometers per hour, but only for 100 meters. After that, her overheating brain forces her to stop. Her teeth are designed for one thing: shearing meat. She has 4 long canine teeth for stabbing and 12 sharp carnassial teeth in the back that slide past each other like scissors, cutting flesh and crushing bone. She cannot chew. Lions swallow their food in chunks the size of a human fist. They digest it in a stomach full of hydrochloric acid so strong that it can dissolve wildebeest hoof. A lion's average lifespan in the wild is 10 to 14 years for males, 15 to 18 for females. In captivity, one lion in a zoo lived to be 29, but he was obese, depressed, and paced in circles all day. That's not living, that's existing. As for qualities, lions are the most socially intelligent of all big cats. They recognize individual voices. They remember kindness and cruelty for years. They play, even as adults, wrestling, chasing, biting each other's tails like overgrown kittens. They also have a sense of humor, or something very close to it. Researchers have watched lions sneak up on each other from behind, tap a sleeping lioness on the shoulder, and then run away pretending to be innocent. They mourn their dead. They celebrate kills with head rubbing and purring. They've been observed adopting injured cubs from rival prides, and they are without question the laziest large predator on Earth. A lion spends 20 hours resting. They are the teenagers of the animal kingdom, sleeping until noon, eating everything in the fridge, and complaining about the heat. But when they work, when those 22 hours of rest pay off, they become poetry. A lioness hunting at night is not an animal. She is a ghost. She is a shadow with a heartbeat. She gets within 30 meters of a zebra without making a single sound. She explodes. She hits the zebra's hindquarters with both front paws, hooks her claws into its flesh, and uses her body weight to pull it down. The zebra kicks. The zebra screams. The zebra dies in 45 seconds, its windpipe crushed by jaws that never let go. That is not cruelty. That is dinner. And after the kill, the male lion, who did absolutely nothing to help, walks over, pushes the lioness aside, and eats first. That's the lion's way. It is not fair, it is not noble, but it has worked for 2 million years. So, who are we to judge?
Now, let us talk about the lion's daily struggle, because make no mistake, a lion's life is not a vacation. It is a series of disasters interrupted by short periods of eating. Kito's first year was a parade of near-death experiences. At 3 months old, his mother left him and his siblings hidden in a thicket while she went hunting. A honey badger, an animal so aggressive that it once attacked a lion and survived, wandered into the thicket. The badger did not want to eat the cubs, it wanted the termites under their bedding, but the badger was also willing to fight. Kito's sister, the boldest of the litter, growled at the badger. The badger growled back. The badger charged. Kito ran. His sister ran. The badger chased them for 50 meters before getting bored and digging for termites. No one was hurt, but Kito did not sleep for 2 nights. At 6 months old, a drought came. The rivers dried up. The wildebeest migrated away. The pride went 10 days without a kill. Kito's mother was so thin that her ribs showed through her fur. She had stopped producing milk. Kito and his siblings tried to eat grass, but lion stomachs cannot digest grass. They vomited, they cried, they followed the adult lionesses everywhere, desperate for food. On the 11th day, the pride found a dying buffalo. It was old, sick, and lying in a mud wallow. The lionesses killed it in 3 minutes. Kito ate until he could not move. Then he vomited. Then he ate again. That is not disgusting. That is survival. At 1 year old, Kito was almost killed by a snake, a black mamba, the fastest and one of the most venomous snakes in Africa, slithered through the pride's resting spot. Kito was curious. He pawed at it. The snake struck at his face, but missed by a centimeter because Kito's mother grabbed him by the tail and threw him backward. She then stepped on the snake's head and crushed it. She did not eat the snake. Lions do not eat snakes. She simply killed it because it threatened her child. At 2 years old, Kito was chased out of the pride. This is the most brutal moment in any male lion's life. His mother, who had protected him for 24 months, did not chase him. His aunts did not chase him. The other male lions, his father and his uncle, chased him. They snarled, they bit his hind legs, they cornered him against a riverbank. Kito ran. He ran until his lungs burned and his paws bled. He crossed into another pride's territory, alone, starving, terrified. He was a teenager with no job, no home, and no friends. He was also a 200-pound predator who had never killed anything bigger than a hare. For the next 2 years, Kito wandered. He ate scraps from other lions' kills. He was chased by hyenas. He slept in trees like a leopard because he was too afraid to sleep on the ground. He lost 30 pounds. He grew a patchy, sad-looking mane that made him look like a teenager trying to grow a beard. He did not roar once in those 2 years. He had nothing to roar about. Then, at 4 years old, he met another wandering male. His name was Tumbo, which means fat in Swahili. Tumbo was bigger, older, and uglier. He had a torn ear and a missing tooth. He was also lonely. The two males looked at each other. They did not fight. Instead, Tumbo lay down. Kito lay down beside him. They groomed each other's faces. They had formed a coalition, 2 brothers without blood, and together they would do something extraordinary. They would take over a pride.
How is the lion useful to humans? Let us go beyond the obvious. First, ecotourism. A single lion in Kenya's Masai Mara generates an estimated $700,000 per year through tourism dollars. That money builds schools, digs wells, pays rangers, and keeps the savannah wild. Without lions, the tourism economy of East Africa would collapse, and local communities would have no reason to protect wildlife. Second, ecosystem engineering. Lions kill wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo. Hyenas and jackals eat the leftovers. Vultures clean the bones. Insects and bacteria finish the job. A single lion kill feeds over 20 species. Lions are the engines of the savannah's nutrient cycle. Third, medical research. Lion bones have been studied for their density and strength. Researchers are learning how lions heal from broken bones without surgery or antibiotics, knowledge that could help human fracture treatment. Lion immune systems are also studied for their resistance to diseases like canine distemper and bovine tuberculosis. Fourth, conflict mitigation. Humans and lions have fought for 10,000 years, but new research shows that lions avoid areas with beehives, bright lights, and painted eyes on the backs of cow masks. These low-tech solutions have reduced lion attacks on livestock by 90% in some regions. The lion is teaching us how to live beside it. And what can humans learn from the lion? First, rest is productive. Lions sleep 20 hours a day. They do not feel guilty about it. Humans, exhausted and burned out, could learn that doing nothing is not wasting time. It is recharging. Second, mothers are the true leaders. Lionesses make every important decision: when to hunt, where to move, how to raise the cubs. The males are temporary guests. Human societies that undervalue mothers should look at the lion. Third, that failure is the default. Lions fail at hunting 7 out of 10 times. They go hungry for days. They do not complain. They try again. Humans fear failure. Lions expect it. Fourth, that siblings do not have to be blood. Kito and Tumbo were strangers. They became brothers. They trusted each other with their lives. Human loneliness could be cured by this simple lesson. Find your coalition. Fifth, that aging is not weakness. Old lions are often the best hunters. They have knowledge. They have patience. They do not waste energy on foolish chases. Human cultures that worship youth and discard the elderly have forgotten that wisdom is a form of strength. Sixth, that a roar is not a threat. A lion's roar is a phone call. It says, "I am here. Where are you? Are you my friend or my enemy? Let us talk about it." Humans shout to dominate. Lions roar to connect. And perhaps that is the deepest lesson of all.
Now let us return to Kito. At 4.5 years old, he and Tumbo found a pride. The pride had a single old male, his mane gray with age, his teeth worn to nubs. He had held the pride for 8 years, an eternity for a male lion. He was tired. He was slow. Kito and Tumbo approached him. They did not sneak. They walked in the open, side by side. The old male stood up. He roared. Kito and Tumbo roared back, 2 voices against 1. The old male looked at them. He looked at his cubs, his grand cubs, the legacy he would leave behind, and he made a decision. He turned and walked away. He did not fight. He surrendered. That is rare among lions. Most old males fight and die. This one chose to live. Kito and Tumbo took over the pride. Their first act as new kings was not to roar, it was to kill. They killed every cub under the age of 9 months, all of them, 7 cubs, dead in one afternoon. This is the part of the lion story that nature documentaries do not show. It is brutal, it is heartbreaking, it is also necessary. Lionesses will not ovulate while they are nursing cubs. By killing the cubs, Kito and Tumbo forced the lionesses into heat within 2 weeks. Their own cubs would be born. Their genes would move forward. Evolution is not nice. It is efficient. Kito and Tumbo held the pride for 4 years. In that time, they sired 23 cubs. They defended the territory from rival males 3 times. Kito was injured in the second fight, a bite to his back leg that became infected. He limped for 6 months. Tumbo fed him. Tumbo guarded him while he slept. They did not abandon each other. Then, in the 4th year, a coalition of 3 younger males arrived. They were bigger, faster, hungrier. Kito was now 9 years old. His teeth were worn. His back leg still hurt. Tumbo was 10. They had no chance. They fought anyway. For 3 hours, the 5 lions rolled in the dust, biting, clawing, roaring. Kito bit one of the young males in the face and broke his jaw. Tumbo took a bite to his spine and lost the use of his back legs. The young males retreated, temporarily. They would return. Kito dragged Tumbo to a thicket. He brought him water in his mouth and dripped it onto his tongue. He stayed with him for 3 days. On the 4th day, a hyena clan found them. They had been watching. They knew Tumbo could not run. Kito stood over his brother and roared. The hyenas circled. There were 20 of them. Kito killed 4, but there were too many. He could not save Tumbo. He retreated into the darkness, alone again. Tumbo died that night. His bones were scattered by morning. That is the lion's life. Not a fairy tale, a tragedy with moments of glory. Kito died at 10 years and 3 months. He outlived Tumbo by only a month. After losing his coalition, he tried to take over another pride. He found a lone female and her 2 half-grown cubs. He stayed with them for 2 weeks. He hunted for them. He guarded them. The female tolerated him, but did not mate. She knew he was dying. Kito's teeth were gone, not literally, but so worn that he could no longer tear through zebra hide. He started eating termites. He started eating dung. He started eating soil. One morning, he lay down under a sausage tree and did not get up. A group of tourists in a safari jeep found him there. They took photographs. They whispered. A little girl in the back seat said, "Mommy, why is that lion so skinny?" Her mother said, "He is old, sweetheart. He is very old." The girl said, "Can we help him?" Her mother said nothing. The jeep drove away. Kito died at sunset. His body lay in the grass for 2 days. Then a clan of hyenas, perhaps the same clan that killed Tumbo, found him. They ate him completely. Within a week, nothing remained but a few scattered teeth and a patch of flattened grass. But here is the final truth. Kito's cubs, the 23 he sired, were scattered across the savannah. 8 of them survived to adulthood. 3 of his sons formed their own coalition. 2 of his daughters became dominant lionesses in neighboring prides. His genes, his mother's stubbornness, his father's courage, his brother's loyalty moved forward. And as you read this, somewhere in the Serengeti, a young male lion with a patchy mane and a nervous twitch is sneaking up on a wildebeest. He will probably fail. He will probably go hungry tonight. But tomorrow he will try again. And one day he will roar. Not for us, not for a documentary, for himself. For the 2 million years of lions who came before him. For the 10 years he has left, if he is lucky. The lion does not ask for our sympathy. He does not ask for our admiration. He simply asks for the grass, the shade, the zebra, and the night. That is his biography. That is enough. And if you ever see one in person, really see one, not on a screen, not in a zoo, you will understand something that no words can capture. You will understand that the lion is not a king. Kings are made by humans. The lion was made by Africa, by drought, by hunger, by blood, by failure after failure after failure, and then, just often enough, by success. That is not majesty. That is endurance, and endurance is rarer, harder, and more beautiful than any crown. Sleep well, Kito. The savannah remembers you, even if no one else does.